I've gotten a lot of requests, like an unreasonable amount of requests to cover Stalker Space Station 14. It's a Stalker server. It takes place in the Stalker universe, all that crap. And I will say, this recording is not my first time on the server. I will also say, I do not have experience with Stalker, the franchise. I have, after the fact, done some research into like how the mechanics of the Stalker games themselves work. And I'm gonna say a couple of things about the server, but let me first go through and explain what I like, because I don't want to be that guy that's like, "Oh my god, this server that's just getting started sucks. It sucks so much. I hate it." I want to be, positive. I want to try and at least somewhat explain why someone would enjoy their time here. Stalker does have a fair bit going for it. Its audio design uses the Space Station Engine's, the robust toolbox that is, audio design really well. You'll see a little later. Another thing it does really well is this shop. Right here, you could do pretty much whatever here, and it's very simple and easy to understand. It also has a permanent system, where basically anything in that stash I went into, anything you put into that vending machine, you can come back to later. This establishes a semi-permanent status, sort of like a Frontier or Monolith. But instead of, getting stuck and having to redo a ship so you can't design your own ship and just keep spawning in and over again, you instead have items. Still, better than what happens in Monolith and Frontier. Let's get on to the next thing I like. The enemy AI. Because the enemy AI on the NPCs, really, really good. Quick intermediary, that's the audio design I was talking about. Oh, it's good. So I'm getting attacked by a dog, which first of all, they announced their presence by barking. Really cool. And as you can see, it's not just bum rushing me. The dog's actually stalking and then waiting to come for me. And once it's attacked, it goes back to its stalking behavior. This isn't just like the AI bugging out. They're meant to do this. It's really cool and actually really unique. It's keeping its distance. Unlike the classic AI in Space Station, which just, runs at you, bites, runs away until its bite is recharged, and then comes back. That's because the dogs are meant to work as a pack. And you can see here, when there was two of them, which one do I target first? Which one's going to rush me first? Hard question. They're not smart enough to avoid the anomalies, but hey, they're still pretty cool. Here's an event.
Attention stalkers, an emission will start any minute now. Find cover if you want to live.
I don't know what the hell an emission is, again. Haven't played Stalker. I don't feel like doing research on this because realistically I think even outside of portraying Stalker, a server should still be enjoyable for being a server. And I'm a jackass, and I basically ignore it, but I'm like, you know what? The alarms raise a point. I think I'm going to take cover. And thank God I did. Because as you'll see in a couple seconds, the entire screen turned red. Ooh, spooky. I'm going to skip ahead because this lasts for a solid 2 minutes. And in that 2 minutes, if you walk outside, you instantly get max bleed. Which, I guess that's a good time to transition to my next thing, which is, well, this event is cool, but there's a lot of problems that Stalker has. Okay, I find a dead guy, right? I proceed, take his shit because, hey, dead guy, might as well take his loot. And then I go to walk off, just in a random direction. Now, I am suddenly, instantly murdered. By something nigh invisible. Now, yes, I understand. I'm not a fool. I understand what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have these bolts that you throw in front of you to find the anomalies so that you don't die to them. This is cool. I think that's a good way to see the anomalies. I also understand that the anomalies are incredibly lethal to be one-to-one with the Stalker games. from the little bit I've seen of Stalker, just to have this point being made, I get that. I get why it's lethal. I get that Stalker is lethal. But I really just don't think it will ever work for a Space Station 14 Stalker game. Like, okay, let me explain this using a game I actually played. See, Baldur's Gate, which minor spoilers for Act 3, but I mean, it's been 3 years, also, who cares? So I'm going down here, right? I'm like, holy shit, there's an ambush. Where's the fucking ambush? Oh, I don't see an ambush. Time to walk on forward. Oh shit, there's an ambush. See, this guy's starting a ritual chant. And if this guy's ritual chant goes off in 5 turns, I'm dead. Full on, straight up dead. Now I have the option of trying to go for him to stop him from killing me, or I could just run away. Because Baldur's Gate, like Stalker, the actual game Stalker, not the Space Station server, has an easy way to have very, very high stakes and very high lethality. See, if I lose here, I can just load back to a previous save and try again, or go do something else. Go try out any other myriad option in this game. Again, you have the option to have every encounter be incredibly lethal because of the F5 save option. Press F5, you've saved. You can do that before doing anything and immediately go back to where you were. I want to drill this into you that is the only place where lethality belongs is when you can easily undo the reversed progress. Because otherwise, you run into a game that's just horrendously, horrifically punishing for no reason, and results in you losing hours upon hours of progress because you dared to attempt to play the game in any minor way. And for a Space Station server, I really just don't think that belongs at all. I want to be very clear here. The save system and the fact that you're able to lose progress for basically no reason only applies when you're doing something stupid. Like me, this is a fair death. I fucking tried to force a cook while there was a bear approaching me, and then instead of running away to out of bounds, I ran into a place that I had no idea about, and I have no shotgun ammo, and if I try to grab my gun, I'm just dead. Again, I fucked up here, I'm dead. That's fair. The game actively showed me that you are in danger, you are about to die, do something, I failed, I'm an idiot. However, this right here is bullshit. Look at this. I'm just walking, and then, oops, I touched an invisible thing, and I'm dead. Now, of course, I'm supposed to expect that there's these anomalies everywhere. But the problem is, they're a consistent, persistent threat. They're not an occasional thing where it's like, ooh, this is a unique circumstance. They're a constant. Every fucking place in the goddamn server has these fucking anomalies there, ready to just randomly one-shot you. Now, I'm going to explore some options, because I don't want to just say, this sucks, fuck you, how dare you. I want to try and think of a couple solutions to this issue. And I have a couple. First of all, we could lower the lethality a bit. So, what would this do? Lowering the lethality of the anomalies will result in them being more of an inconvenience than a threat, slowly whittling down your health and potentially comboing with the much more interesting AI of the enemies that are in the zone. The bears, the boars, the dogs. That's much more interesting than just, oops, you died. There's the other solution where you could, in theory, force multiplayer interaction. Here's the thing. Rookie Village, in concept, I understand. I get why you want Rookie Village. You want Rookie Village to be a nice spot for new players where they're not going to get attacked by roaming bandits or, you know, the higher tier enemies that show up in other parts of the map. Rookie Village is a cool concept. Doesn't work. And I think I have a solution that will make roaming in packs a lot more incentivized by the players. Because right now, I think there's enough players to where you could realistically get a proper faction system going. See, here's the thing. Right now, as a lone stalker, or I'm just going to say new player here, as a new player, you only have one option to spawn in. Spawn in as a stalker, most likely completely alone, in Rookie Village, where none of the experienced players are. Why? Because the experienced players have other options to spawn in with. They could spawn in with another faction and work together with the people in that faction to reduce the lethality of the zone and get better shit. Which, again, I think the faction system is a good idea. I think that's cool. The problem is, and you're probably realizing it at this point, I have yet to run into another player who actually wanted to talk to me. I ran into two. They're not even part of this recording because they're inconsequential. I ran into someone that said howdy. I then proceeded to run into someone who shot a dog with me before fucking off somewhere else. I was also observant of a guy who was AFK at Rookie Village. Which, sure, cool. Other people aren't exactly inclined to talk to people on a server where everyone's just kind of on their own as a general independent person. And I don't think forcing people to work together is ever going to properly work. Also, minor tangent here, the boar AI, really cool. It has a charge jump attack. Pretty fucking cool. Again, the AI, definitely the best thing about the server. With that though, speaking of, here's this other guy now. He shows up. He's like, cool, there's a boar. He also gets fucked up by it. So we shoot the boar together. Convenient timing, right? And that's it. That is the summary of our interaction. He shows up, gets mauled by a boar a couple times, and I shoot the boar. He says, yikes, and that's it. He then just wanders off. Because there's no incentive to cooperate. Because the experienced players, again, know how to navigate the zone and all of its challenges. And I'm not saying that the lethality should be toned down. I think if you want to have a lethal server, that's perfectly fine. But you need a way to counteract it that comes perfectly naturally to the players. And right now, none of it comes naturally to the players. All that happens right now is you show up, get anomalied, and die. Repeat, 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 repeat. And I know I'm going to get people in the comment section defending it, saying it's 1-to-1 to Stalker, the actual game. But I just don't think that it's worth that. I think if that Rookie Village was more of a center hub or something, it'd be a lot better. Because I don't know the map, first of all. I just want to say that. But from what I've seen, Rookie Village is the furthest south thing you have actual access to. There is a southern military checkpoint, which is basically impassable due to NPCs that are very, very hostile. And that's it. And from my time wandering around before I got one shot by Anomaly, I didn't find any other traces of civilization. There's also the alternative spawn point of the bar, but the bar's in the city, and I didn't really see a way into the city that didn't suck. Like here, I attempted to roleplay, and I was like, oh, this guy prices. Oh, shit. This guy don't need to put a show in this asshole, because prices suck. Because, you know, who doesn't bitch about prices? Then all he has to say is, not a diss against this player in particular, but we're just not incentivized to work together at all. So to recap here, if you want to keep the lethality as it is, I think it'd be a lot better if we also introduced something that made players want to work together naturally. For example, Monolith. I like talking about Monolith. It's a fun server. Monolith has two factions. I believe they had three, but they got rid of one for some reason, resulting in one just having all the players and glassing the other, which there's problems there, but whatever. Monolith has the TSF and the USSP, two opposite sides at war pretty much constantly. There's also alternative players where there's just mercenaries and shit, relaxing and chilling and doing whatever. The TSF and the USSP, because of the threat of the other, naturally work together. You could spawn in as a next to new player, as a Marine on the TSF or USSP, and get someone who will want to work with you to go to show you the ropes and how to contribute. The same thing happens on like RMC. If you're a new player as either a Xeno or a Marine, people will naturally flock to you to teach you how to play, because the better you are at playing, the better they are, and the better their chances of winning. Same thing happens in a game I fucking hate, which, because the devs ruined it. I might make a video about this at some point. Foxhole. On Foxhole, if you're a fresh new player, you type in the chat, hey, I'm new, what do I do? Someone will come through, someone will teach you. Because you contributing to the war effort, I just hurt my finger, ow. Contributing to the war effort will help them win the general war. If people are wanting to help you because it helps them too, new players will have much less of a bad time. There's also the other option where we keep player freedom. The player freedom of going out and doing whatever and not having to talk to anyone else or deal with anyone else if you want to. The ability and feeling for a new player to go completely lone wolf, like what I'm doing here because I can't fucking find anyone, because there's no global communications thing, which, again, that would also help generally if there's a global communication thing on both sides that actually fucking functioned, which might fuck up the setting a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe you can have like a radio enemy spawn with. I don't know. Anyways, generally though, this could work. You could just have the fucking thing, lethality of the creatures, or not creatures, of the anomalies reduced, and thus players will be able to go lone wolf. Now, again, the lethality of the anomalies should only be reduced in the low-level areas. Higher-level areas with better loot should be, one, directed as these are a higher-level area, maybe some kind of warning sign or something. I don't know, some kind of like radiation blockage or something, which, speaking of, use radiation to block off the high-level areas. That's a good idea, I think. Make it so you need at least one anti-rad upgrade to go to a high-level area. Natural player progression, natural, way to keep someone who's too low level for this area out of an area. Metroidvanias. As such, new players won't go wandering into high-level areas, and they will be able to get their feet and understand the game and how to survive better by just wandering around the low-level areas. Like here, look at this. Those are 2 mature boars and 2 dogs. I am not that far from Rookie Village, and I'm under attack by a lot of fucking enemies. Leading into me, well, dying. This is just the before of that clip of me dying earlier. So yeah, Stalker Space Station 14 is a server I could see a lot of potential in. But the problem is, right now, as it stands, their content is way too obsessed with creating Stalker 1-to-1. Which, Stalker 1-to-1, I don't think has any chance of working. I genuinely don't think that having a 1-to-1 recreation of Stalker will ever work. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a terrible idea. And I want to see the server come into its own with new ideas to represent Stalker in universe, but not in gameplay. I'd like to thank my channel members, Modern Jedi, 202 Aloe, Mr. XD Awesome, Dubbo, The Lazy Hungarian, Just a Period, Plansec, Aweenix, Henlo, Reverse Mirror, Wakefield, Use Faces, Loltar, Symphony Cat, Northstar, and Phil Batimo. And if you have feedback about this video, let me know in the comments. Because I feel like this might be a case where I just have a skill issue. And if I'm having a genuine, massive skill issue, tell me. Oh, also, I just want to say, minor tangent, I want to bring this up because it kind of killed the vibe of the review. Because, again, I think Stalker has potential. This is a review of the English server, not the Russian server. Because I don't speak Russian, and I'm pretty sure the Russian server is full of, the usual suspects. You know who if you don't know what I mean, good. Don't fucking look it up. For some fucking reason, people on this goddamn game just can't be normal, and we insist on creating drama and fucking DDoSing other servers and being just dickish. I don't know if those people are there, but from what I've heard through the grapevine, yeah, those guys are there. Anyways, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Bye now.